151 is over. The fans are headed for the exits, and as we think back on this weekend, Eric, we had a favorite in Good Cheer win. We had the second choice, at least on the morning line, in Sovereignty win Derby 151, owned by the same group in Godolphin. Trained by Bill Mott was Sovereignty, rode by Junior Alvarado. So we're 2 weeks out from the Preakness, but as we wrap up this weekend, what's maybe one of your big takeaways?
I think you're bearing the lead that you had the Derby try and put it on WDRB.com. That's takeaway number one. No, I think you're right. It's to be determined whether we get to see this colt in the Preakness. We hope so. That would be a lot of fun. I think you have to tip your cap to Godolphin Racing. They pull off the rare ownership of the Oaks Derby double. They own both horses, and that's a great thing for them. And of course, Bill Mott and Sovereignty. You know, sometimes the wise guys on the backside are right, and they were right with this colt. They loved the way he looked from the start, loved the way he composed himself. Bill Mott is not a guy who's like really jokey around there on the backstretch, but comparatively speaking, he's been giddy for a week. So congratulations to them.
As for me having the exact in trifecta, does that make me a wise guy on the backside now?
Absolutely. You were already a wise guy. You knew that. You knew that going in.
As for that takeaway, you're damn right, first of all. Yeah. Second of all, I think my biggest takeaway here is that if he goes to the Preakness, he's got a new shooter there potentially in Bob Baffert's Rodriguez that's going to be a pretty tough out. Rodriguez is going to be fresh. From all accounts, it was a very minor injury, and out of an abundance of caution that he did not race in the Kentucky Derby. We won't see Grande, the Pletcher horse, because that was a vet scratch. He's not going to have enough time based on the regulations to be able to get back to the Preakness. But Rodriguez, I think, is probably his biggest rival if he's going to go for the second leg of the Triple Crown. So that was my takeaway. Anything else that stands out to you overall for this weekend?
Well, I think the crowds, because of the weather, will probably be down. It was interesting that the total handle on the Oaks was down from a business standpoint. We'll have to kind of assess where things are. Obviously, we're a year out from a big 150th Derby. There's a little bit of a hangover for that, but not for these winning connections. It's been a great day, great Derby out here. They all came back safe. That's a huge thing for horse racing.
Especially in the slot.
Always a plus, yes.
Yeah. Last question for you. Rick Bozich wrote about this after the Oaks, that Good Cheer is undefeated as a filly after we saw a super filly last year in Torpedo Anna take on the boys. A, do you think Godolphin will do it, considering he also has the Derby winner now? And B, how do you think she would do if she did?
She doesn't strike me as like one of those big fillies that's going to go up against the boys. I'd be very surprised if they ran her in the Preakness, and honestly, if they're even thinking about running Sovereignty in the Preakness, there's no way Godolphin runs them both there. I don't know. I don't know if we even see Sovereignty. Just trainers and owners are now so reluctant to run them back that quickly. Yeah. You know, it may be a time for the Preakness to move out and space these things out a little more, but it'd be fun if he does to go.
If Sovereignty does skip the Preakness, he will surely be, I would think, no longer than an even money favorite in the Belmont, because remember, the Belmont is still at Saratoga, and it's still not a mile and a half. It's down to a mile and a quarter. It would be the same distance that he just won here in Derby 151. For Eric Crawford, I'm Stephen Andress from Churchill Downs for WDRB Sports.